In this video, we will build a tool together where we can track our monthly expenses. You input your data here, then it's shown here, is split automatically into 4 categories. You can decide which categories they are. It gives you a summary here on the shape of a donut. You have also the overall movement for the month showing here. And you have also the possibility to keep track on an annual basis. And here you can input your balance at the start of the month, and I will calculate the balance as we speak. Everything is customized. You can input the name that you want for all the money in. You can put free expense types, and you can put thresholds or targets here, and they will be shown on the chart this way. They'll be shown as a line here on the chart, so you know where you stand. And finally, you can input at the end of each month, you can input your balance here, so that will allow you to track how you're going. And this is color coded, so when it's red, that means it's you're done from the previous month, and when it's green, it's the other way around. And this chart is also showing here as an overview. I like to change my usual working area, so I'm going under normal here. I right click, modify, and I click on format, and I change the default value. So what I have is a very light yellow, so I take the standard yellow here, and I go under more colors, and this is the hex that I input, FF8E5, so that's a color that I like to have as a background. The reason why I like to have a different color is that this way the input field will be in white and it will stand out a little bit. And as far as font is concerned, most of my typing will be done under the BenchScript Live font, and I will be using the BenchScript for the stronger components of this demo. I want to create right from the start 2 worksheets, one that I will call settings, and the other one I suppose it's can stay as is for the time being. The settings, this is where I will set some value that we will use. The end game, what we want to do is we want to be able to enter some data around here. So I'm just going around the 60 zone, 63 maybe, to leave some room on top to allow for the charts. And here I would like to have the type of expenses, and that obviously this is an example where I need a stronger font, but I will change that later on. I want a description, I want a date, and I want an amount. And then from those I will set up some calculation. You can take as many as you like, but I'm just going to take around 100. Let's say 64 and 104, for instance. And I will set all that in white here, this way. And then I can have a very light border, so I'll go under more borders. For the color, I'll take maybe this one there, the third one at the left, and then I just click those 2. So this is where I will be inputting my data. So those fields need to be changed into BenchScript. And I put them in a bolder font. So if I go under the settings tab, I want to create the positive. One will be for the positive value, so there will be only one. Unfortunately, we usually have more money out than money in, so I have allowed only for one field to be used as income. So by default, I will put income as a description. So if it's not clear for you, it will become clear when we start to populate the other sheet. And I would like to put a threshold, something that we target towards. So in instance, for instance, I will put 2000 here. So it can be any currency, by the way. So that's good. So this is the expectation here of income, positive value. Now for the expenses themselves, I could put actually expenses type. We want to give also a warning instead of an expectation level, warning level. So this I will allow for 3 types, and I will put some default values, so you can, I suppose, keep them if you want, or you can put your own, but sometimes it's good just to have some basics to get us started. I'm putting back the gray borders here. Actually, I created one too many. So the first one, I will be calling it expenses. The second one, I'll be calling it bills. And the other one, I'll be calling it debt. So if you're lucky enough not to have debts, then you can use another type of expense. It could be subscriptions or the likes. So just to make it clear, money in, and that's money out. And let's say expenses, I want to try and have a 2,000 as a warning level, 2,000 here, and here 1,000, say. And while I'm at it, actually, what I want to do is to create an overall threshold for everything, including ins and outs. I will be on the top chart over threshold, and I will put maybe 4,000 here. And it's money in or out, we'll see. I just put this one in green, so it's really, so you really need to make sure that this is a positive value in here. Okay, so I just wanted to validate this. Now I've decided to put this one aside, so unfortunately Excel doesn't really like it. So what I need to do is I need to do something that I don't really like. I need to copy it again. So when we change it here, it will change below, but for validation, Excel wants us to have those fields contiguous. So I'm just putting that income. So just to go back here, if I want to validate, then I will put data validation. I will put a list. In the source, I will select those 4 fields here. So here now I can choose expenses, bill, debts, or income. Expenses, put for instance shopping, and you would put a date, this 5th of May, and then you would put the amount. So this is how it would work. So you can create a few, you can have a different types. I mean, I will be inputting some just to show you how it works. Okay, what I like to do now is just some basic formatting. I would just want to make sure that we highlight the one that are income. So I just select everything here. And I will be taking a new rule, use a formula. And here I will just make sure that if the type, that I select the type, and I'll make sure that I remove the dollar here, so to free up the rows in a way, so that will follow. If this is equal to what I have in the settings here, and this needs to be fixed, so you need $2 here, then if that's the case, I put a little bit of green across the board. So this way it's a little bit clearer. Okay, so now we are ready to make some calculations. So the first thing I want to do is I want to calculate the cumulative spend. To make it easier, I've just brought back here the amount from that is an income, the positive value here, an income. So I'm just going to go down the list, and if it's an income, I'm just going to add the amount, and if it's not, I'm just going to deduce the amount. So to start with, so I'm going to use the if statement. First, I check if this field is equal to blank. If it's blank, then I put non-applicable. Non-applicable is best for charts. If you put 0, then the chart's going to drop, and it's not a pretty sight, so to be avoided. Next, if the type is an income here, and I'll be locking it by pressing F4 to make sure that we always refer back to this field. If it's the case, I add this amount to this amount here, to the previous total, and in all the other cases I will deduct the amount. So I just put true here, and I will deduct this amount from the total. So now this is giving us some negative amounts, which is what we wanted. So I'm just going to make sure I drag this all the way down, and we have our NAs here. Just going to do a quick check that it took the income as a positive. So minus 1,400, yes, income, that's done. So the threshold that we have selected previously, I'm just going to refer back to it here. So this is the overall spend threshold. So we're going to put it here, so we'll be ready to calculate, to put that on our chart. So the way to do it is just always refer to the upper field, and then you drag all the way down. Drag it all the way down. Okay. So we're already ready to draw our first chart. So in order to do this, you just select those two columns here. You press one of those charts here. I'm just going to select this one for the time being. And here what I wanted, in fact, was a negative amount this time here. So I just should have put minus. So I put minus here, so it goes under. So this is the threshold that we want to highlight. So what I want to do is I want to do some basic formatting. I'm just going to go right click, format data series. I don't want a marker for that. Marker option, none, line, dotted line. The other dot will be better, I think, this dot. And I want to put some deep blue here. And for this, marker field, marker fill white. So this I can remove. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to keep things simple, not to order these by date. Actually, I just need to make sure that everything is formatted properly as a date. So we have our first chart that we will include at the top of the screen. Now what I want to do is I want to sort all this stuff by the type of expense. So how do we do that? So first of all, I need to find a bit of a, I don't want to bring back too many, but if I go around the line 30, say, I'm just going to put a very basic coloring here for the time being. This will be for the income. We want to put the income first. Here I will be bringing back the value here. Income. I'm just going to put my font here, so this way it's done, and I will be putting it in white. Okay, so what I want to do under this, you know, this is, you can put it as big as you like, but just, I'm just going to put it just here as far as I can. Maybe here. I'm just going to put some borders around this. The subtle borders will be better, so I'm just going to put back this gray. And this I can leave it this yellowish color because I do not want to input anything. All the input will be done on that, on that page here. Now what I want to do is I want to filter all the data here, selecting only the type of expense that is on the top of this. So once I've done it for once, then I can duplicate it 3 times for the others because I'll be consistent in the way I design my table. So allons-y. So filter, what do I filter? So first you need to put the array. So the array, I just put all this because I want to bring everything back. I filter this and I will lock it. Well, I am locking it, and what I want is I want this column here to be equal to what I have here. I don't need to lock it, but I'm just looking it for clarity here because you only input the function once. That's the beauty with this. This is a dynamic table, that so it just doesn't bring back one value, it brings back an array or a table. And if it doesn't find anything, I want to put no yet. So if I remove, then it says no income yet. So now if I have more income, if I have something else, let's say this electricity bill is an income, wouldn't it be nice? You have the two here. So we've done it. If I just copy this now, say I leave one field in between and I paste it here. What I do is I go back to settings and I take my first one here, expenses. I need to lock the table, but I need obviously to unlock this. So I come here and now it works. So we need to make sure that we lock the tables, the two tables that are set there, so to make sure that they bring back the same table. But this field here, we need to free it up. So this way, when I report this formula here to here, it would pick that up automatically. And then I just gonna do another one here, just one beside here, and I'm gonna do a last one here. So now if I bring back the third, which is the second expense type, and here if I bring back the dates. So now just to summarize, if that has been a bit too quick for you, is I've just, here I'm referencing to this table here that is fixed. I'm just looking for something here that is fixed. So whether this field is here or here doesn't matter. But what is not fixed is the field here. So I'm looking for that field in that table column here. So we can talk about colors now. So what I like to do is I just put this at a bit of the same group of green, but a lighter shade, like this. For this, you can put obviously whichever type you want, but I wanted to a bit of I like this red here and standard colors at the very left. But what I do is I go to more colors and I try to find a bit of a lighter red for the title here, and then for this an even lighter red. I go back here, more colors. Now need to select this, more colors, and then I'll take an even lighter red here. So that will do for the time being, although yeah, it's a little bit too strong. I'll go back here. I try with this, so I will fine tune that later on. Now for this one, I wanted to give the same color for the other, oops. For this one, I wanted to have two the same color, so I just do a format paint and I put it here. So here I'm just going to put this a little bit bigger. Make sure that this is in the center. So here for this one, I've elected to go to the stronger yellow here. I'll just put a stronger yellow here. This one here, still using the page layout, the office one here. Gonna select, go back here and select a lighter shade. I think this one might be okay actually, because yeah, this is the same type of yellow of my background. So now we have progressed. Okay, let's do some charts now. So when I was doing this filter here to demonstrate that we can bring back the table based on this value here. Now what I want to do instead is I wanted to remove this, because that was just to show you, but now that we understand, I think we can remove it. I'm going to leave from the C instead. I need to make sure that there is something to add, otherwise the chart is gonna be a bit strange. So I'm just going to do the same check I did before. If this field is equal to blank, then I put NA. Otherwise, if not, I'm just going to add this to the previous total. And that's it. So I've added it. It's all there. So but I want a threshold as well, and this 0, by the way, we can hide it by putting in the same color. I want also a threshold, and this also I will put it here, but we can hide it later on. I will refer back to the settings here. So I want the 2000 here, and here I will always bring it back as before. If I select those two columns now, do an insert, recommended chart, all charts, then I go to the line charts. And here I don't want to show markers here, I just want to show the value here. So if I do some basic formatting here, what I want at the top for the chart title. I click on the box and I refer back to this, so it should show me the income. I want, as a format of that field, I want a strong green. Put branch script here, and I want it in white. So we can see later on for the detail. I click on that threshold here, and I right click on it, format data series. And as before, I'm more comfortable with having some dotted lines here for this. And I can put a very strong green. And here I just right click on it. And as we are on a high level here, we're not very detailed, we can use the smooth line. So we right click on the data series, line, smooth line. The axis at the bottom, I don't really need it. And I want to be consistent with my color, so I want to give the chart shape fill a light green. We don't need to be reminded what that is. We know what that is. And this one I want to also put it, I could have done that before, deep green. And I put it on top. It works. So this, I'd say, you know, we can hide it. So one way to hide it is to just give it the same color. It might be actually our best bet, but maybe we just leave it white for the time being, so we know there's something there. Now, before we move on, we want to make sure we get this one right, because it'd be nice if we could just duplicate it. What else can I put? I can put a bit of a shape outline that is also a green, maybe not that strong, maybe this one here. This I could maybe have an outline that is not as strong. I think this one too needs to be a bit smaller. Change things, and this maybe I'll just put the light font. So now I need to do the same. I want to do the same for those three types. So as I've changed the filter here, I'm just going to put it back here as well. I just want to bring back free field. And then I want to add the total, but that will be a little bit different here because I want to start from 0. I want to put it back in pink. For this chart, we're also going to leave the positive values as, because it's only expenses, so we don't need to show the negative values. So we've decided just to only show the positive values. Just going to put the same red here so it's hidden. Now if I do this, just bring back the threshold from the other field here, which is this one. Move that bit here. Now, we are left with a few things to do. First thing is to bring back the main chart maybe. So we had the main chart here that we wanted to bring back. Flatten it out a little bit, maybe give it a bit more room. This way. And I wanted to completely melt here. So I'm just going to remove this. And I don't need this. We know what it is. Just a minimalist way. And I want to take the white font. Now we want to have two other charts. So in order to do that, I need to do some calculation. There are several ways for me to calculate the total for each type of expenses, but I think what I could do is I could just cumulate all those fields here. For instance, here I just go to sum and I just sum all of those here. So it's already here available. White, So we have the total. So I'm just going to make it easier for us, I'm just going to create a table here. So I'll just put income, and I'm going to put the value here. And I'm going to do that for each one of those. So if I just select all this and I do insert chart, and I'm just going to click on the pie here, and I want to have a bit of a donut type. So we have this already here, so I'm just going to bring that here. I'm just going to remove the background, format, shape, fill. I want nothing in it. I will be removing that because I want to have it differently. So if I right click on all things and I put format data series, reduce the whole size of the donut. So if I just put something like 50%, that might be a bit too much. Okay, so if I right click on this, add data labels, that's going to give me something. But if I right click again and I say format data labels, I want also the category name. And instead of the comma that is in between, I'm just going to click on the separator here, and I'm going to put new line. So this way I will be showing it a different line. And I want the font to be in white. And I want to make sure that I'm using my usual font. Optional, but what I want to do is I want to really follow the same colors here. So the income was green. So I just double click on the income just to make sure that I only select the income. Don't double click too fast. I mean, click once on the series and then click another time here. And here I'm just going to go back to my green. And to really make it clear, actually this green is a bit too strong, but I want to have that green as well, and the text fill here like this. I'm just click and I click again. I just want to put a lighter green, maybe this green here. Here, so I have two of the same color, so I just can use the two different gradients that I had. And I think I'm going to stick with blue for the titles here. I just want to make sure that I have the same font, pen script, and a deep blue here, the before last, not the blue, and a white. So what could I have here? Money in vs money out for this month. And this one, I think it's still the wrong font. Obviously, if you're not fussy with font as I am, then it'd be much faster for you to do all this. Take the default font. Okay, so I still have around the chart, I still have those lines, so I'm just going to remove them. Shape outline, no outline, and here, try my luck, press F4, and it did work, so that's good. Okay, so before we go to the annual view, I want to have more fields here at the top, some numbers. Now to spare you my rambling, I've just created some fields here on the left. So I have balance at the start of months, balance now, total money out, total money in, and movement for the month. So I would like to have large, I could have created text boxes, but I just decided to merge the cells instead. So if you don't know how to do this, you just select the 4 cells here and press merge and center, and I will merge them for you. So I've done that, and I've created a neutral tone for balance at the start of months and balance now. So as we progress during the month, we can put the total here. Total money out, I've put the red. So if you find that too aggressive, you can put a paler red. But I would like to use white font, something to bear in mind. A total money in here. And here will be the money for the month. So if it's positive, I want it green. And if it's negative, I want it red. So I'm just going to do a bit of conditional formatting. So I'll add the cells that are greater than 0. And the one that are greater than 0, I want to do a custom format. And I want to have this color here. Okay, so the total money in, first one, that's quite simple. Adding this number here. So here we have that. Now we need a total for all the money out. So we have our totals here. So the total for all the money out will be the total of those three fields here. So we just calculate it. We do an auto sum of those three fields here. So we just need to bring back this number here. And I'm going to put it in negative this time. Here. So you see it's a little bit, so put it negative like this. So here the movement for the month is this field plus this field. So we are negative now, but let's say if I give myself a higher salary of maybe 3,000, we are back to the green. Now to complete this, I've created a new tab that I call the annual tab, where we could be inputting manually the value at the end of the month, so we can report it back here at the beginning of the month. For instance, say that you want to do it for 2024, but you could start also within the month, within the year, it doesn't really matter. You could put the 1st of March here, for instance, 2024, and it will follow for the next 12 months. So the table I've created is quite simple. Here you put a date to start with. Remember, only the white fields, you need to input something, all the rest here will be calculated. And here you just put the value at the end of the month that you have on your account. So I just need to do some basic calculation. I want to be able to create a chart with two colors. I could just create a chart this way here. I go insert and I select the columns and I have my chart already. But I'm not happy with this. I want to be able to show two colors. So I'm just going to check for the first month. I'm just going to pretend it's up from the previous month. But here I'm just going to do some basic calculation. So if the balance is greater or equal to the previous month, then I'm happy. So I'm just going to put this amount. Otherwise, I just put 0. And I'm just going to drag everything down. And therefore, it only shows me the amount here where I have made an improvement. The other field is the other way around. So if this is smaller than the month before, then I will be putting it here. Otherwise, I just put 0. All right, so what's the point of all that? Then we'll see. Now, if I select this, I want to have this on my axis, and I press Control, and I select those two rows now. And I insert, but I need to make sure that I insert a stacked chart, stacked column here. Now you can notice straight away that he's putting two colors, which is what I wanted. So I'm just going to do some basic formatting. If I right-click on one format data series, the first thing I'd like to do is to reduce the gap. So I'm just going to put the gap to 50%, so they all tied together. I want to give some meaningful colors. So if it's going down, I want to put the red of shame. No, the red, a bit of a reddish here. Red, yeah. Yeah, okay, for the time being that will do. So this, and when it goes up, I want to put some green. Okay, I want to remove this. I want to remove the shape fill. I want to put no fill. I can put a title here. I put annual, monthly movement. Annual monthly movement. I might not make a lot of sense, but I say money movement. Okay, so I'm just going to use the blue that I had before. And I'm put a... Okay, so what I can do now is I can duplicate it. This way you keep a version here if you like. And I'm going to cut this one and I'm going to put it back on the main dashboard. I'm going to put it here. So here I will be removing the outline. No outline. So this way it looks like it's all very smooth at the top. So the balance at start of month, that's something that you would input manually here. You would put, say, you had 5,000 that I need to format paint this. You would say you have 5,000. And then the balance now, you would just calculate it, is equal to this plus that. Balance as out of months 5,000, and now it's 6280. Let's say we are now in October, so we have 6,500. So we would go back here and we say we are 6,500. Now you have made good progress. So at the end of the month, let's say we roll back to the end of the month. We go back here, and here you would put 7780. And then you would put back 7780 here instead. I just need to align, make sure the titles are aligned. Not the chart themselves, but as long as the titles are aligned, I think I'm happy with this. As far as fine-tuning is concerned, you might want to squeeze those just here at above. So if you don't want to see the NA, I think the NA are great for charts. I think it's a good way to avoid having a sharp drop to zero. There are other ways, but I like this way. So but if you don't want to see, you might not like it, but you can do a conditional formatting to hide them. So what you do is you go to a new rule and you say, format only cells that contain and send value, you have errors. So NA is considered as an error for Excel. So you would just format it and maybe give it the same color, the font the same color as the cell. So this way that will be hidden. Have fun with it. Let me know how you go, and I'll see you next time for another Excel tutorial.